here?
Yes, he is.
All right, awesome.
I know that Jamie's gotta get to work, I gotta get to work.
Yep, I know. We're gonna do this as quickly as possible.
Who's the chair? You the chair?
Yes.
Oh,
Watch this. Other business. Vote letter of support for CZM Coastal Resiliency Grant application for vulnerability assessment. What did we vote the other night?
That was for a support letter for the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program. This is the CZM
talking about, okay.
Coastal Resiliency Grant applications, and the Board of Selectmen would like to put in a grant application for a vulnerability assessment.
Okay.
So the town has opted to move forward with that, and they are looking for a letter of support. I will talk to you about this.
Okay.
after.
So moved.
Second.
No comments or questions?
No.
Okay.
I want to add one thing to that, Mr. Chairman, that I just found out
Absolutely.
yesterday. The DPW is also putting in a application for the CZM Coastal Resiliency grants. It's under a different category, and that is to seek funding to help fix Minot Beach. So the DPW is looking for a support letter as well.
Okay.
So I wasn't able
So
to
that'll
put
be
it on
coming
the-
to us later.
What was that?
That'll be coming to us.
No, I'm asking that, I just found
You
out
want to group it?
yesterday.
Add this on?
Yes, that's what
Okay.
I'm asking, is for you.
Well, we
to
can
vote.
do
I
that.
just
Any
found
matter is
it.
not reasonably anticipated, so that's what we're gonna do it under.
I found out yesterday, so.
Okay. You have a problem, any problems with that, Courtney? Add
No.
that? DPW?
Thank you.
Steve? Jamie?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. Let's vote it then. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. Vote to accept the Coastal Advisory Services proposal for resource area review and confirmation at Lot 7H Pine Bank Road.
Yes, this is the delineation of the coastal dune down in Megansett. We did reach out to Jim O'Connell, whose company is Coastal Advisory Services. We sent you the proposal yesterday. It's pretty much right where I thought it was going to end up. I have informed Mr. Borselli, who is going to inform his client yesterday. I
Yeah,
talked
was
to
that
him
the
late
one that he was
yesterday.
all worried about cost and everything?
Yes,
Okay.
basically, the only means of appeal is to question the chosen consultant's qualifications. Jim O'Connell is a very well-respected coastal
No, I know he is,
So
geologist.
do they,
so-
the client has to accept that?
No. You voted to go through your consultant's fee. The client does not, I mean, the applicant does not have to accept it. They have the right to appeal, but they can only appeal the qualifications of the consultant.
Okay.
So what are we
Where's that
doing?
cost?
We're moving to accept
I
this
sent
proposal?
it to you yesterday.
No, I saw, I mean, who,
They will be sending us a check for this work. Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Steve, you good? I'm good. Jamie's good, Courtney's good, I'm good. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. Vote order of conditions, 45 Little Neck Bars Road. Then that was Mike Borselli, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this was the presentation,
Yes.
said Jill Newbauer,
It's an all-
and
Yeah.
they
it's,
had a whole,
Dan Scherer's old former residents.
That was a.
I had met with them
That's
at
what we
least
just talked about, it was a very good.
3 times regarding this. They have it pretty, for lack of a better term, locked down. And so what I would say is, as I told the contractor at the hearing, it most likely will be a pre-construction meeting with him, because I have met with Jill and Mike Borselli, and I've met with Teresa, but I have not met with the builder yet. So I'll probably have an on-site with him, and then I'll probably have an on-site after they install the sheeting in order to protect the dune, just to make sure that that has been installed correctly.
you know, one thing that was impressive there is they had all their ducks in a row. They had
Yeah.
all their contractors, the whole 9 yards, and that's the way to do it. I want to echo Tom Corribo's mantra about how essential site management is on a regular basis. They gotta keep that place clean, and, you know, I don't know whether there's a dumpster, I assume they'll have a dumpster on the site, but whatever, it's gotta be
They don't have a lot of staging room out there. They have the driveway area and where the little garage is.
Okay, well then, what we need is
Outside.
a little bit of
It
a,
is.
Every day they're gonna haul it away according to their
yeah.
plan.
Yeah,
I
and
think
I had asked them that, how they were gonna get materials in and out, and apparently the contractor has a staging area fairly close by off of Thomas Landers, so.
Well, I mean, this comes to the trash stuff.
Yeah.
They gotta give you a plan for, you know, daily removal, whether they have a truck on site and they drive it off, whatever it is.
Daily policing of the site, in other
Yeah,
words, with trash.
right.
and-
Okay.
And because they don't, if they don't have room for a dumpster, they can't just pile it,
Oh, you're
That's-
absolutely right.
you know? They gotta have a truck there, they drive it out,
Okay.
or a small trailer or something. But that's, we just need,
I'll just have them submit a methodology of like
Yeah, that's right.
anticipated daily construction activities, something
I'll
like
keep an
that.
eye on it too, because I'm gonna have numerous inspections out there.
yeah. I will,
We're underground, so that'll be right for.
I'll make a motion to accept the order as discussed.
Second.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
Yeah, I have one comment. My concern with that property is the restoration after the fact. And that's under Teresa's purview, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I guess I can live with that. And it's just such a tough site.
It is.
You know it's gonna get,
What part of the restoration are you concerned with, Sam?
just that it gets done complete.
Teresa's a-
You know, because you know, like particularly on that north side, they're gonna trash that, and I don't mean intentionally or maliciously, it's just,
You mean
no
that
other way
top
around
corner? Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying.
I mean, it's
Oh.
just,
Well,
You're
they're
saying that
having
right?
the
Yeah,
limited
the
work
north
because that wetland is right there. Oh,
Yeah.
that reminds me, I do want to put in, I know they say they're not going to have to de-water, but that wetland is right there. So I'm going to put in a special condition just as a
just difficult.
placeholder that if they run into groundwater,
Is that the plan?
de-watering, I know they don't anticipate, but
Yeah, but aren't they
I'm not
doing,
so
they're just
sure.
doing helical
Teresa's
piles?
great.
ground.
And what you usually
she's
do.
Sand, yeah.
She's a
It-
wetlands restoration type.
I know you.
And what your
Very good.
special conditions usually say when someone like Teresa or someone like Wilkinson or Maria comes before you and they give you the presentation, the way we write that special condition is that Teresa is the sole entity that is able to install that plan. If they want to choose another contractor, they have to come back and get that approved by you because you do develop a comfort level with these restoration specialists and have them present the plan and then Tommy pickup truck come and do the work. You know, we've been, yeah, we've had that happen before, so.
That's just a very unique site.
It is,
So
and you
that's
need-
more important than a lot of them. Not that none of them are important, but that's particularly important. for
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need a certain expertise to work in that type of area, and Teresa does have that, and she has that experience, so.
Yeah, it was amazing how much Mike had his ducks in line on that one.
I know.
You know, he's oftentimes one who we rank on, and Leighton and I can go back a long way. He would come in with these incomplete things.
Right.
They put a lot of effort into that. Jill was definitely
they did. They
a
put a lot
driving
of-
force in that, and,
Jill's
you
very
know,
conscientious.
yeah, she was definitely a driving force. Teresa, I think came on a little later, and she took the time to meet with me, so I literally met with them at least 3 or 4 times.
See, that's the way it should
But that
always
was
happen.
evident, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so any other comments or questions? Hearing none, call for the vote to accept the conditions as discussed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 46 Jetty Lane.
That's the big restoration project out there. It came about as an enforcement issue with the board when the house was put on the market and we discovered from an aerial of the property that, that it had a massive violation on it. Basically, the lawn had extended beyond the previously permitted limit of work. I met out there with Mike Borselli, I think about a year ago. I met out there with Teresa last summer. She developed a fairly comprehensive restoration plan, including going into the naturally vegetated area and removing a lot of the vines and invasives from those cedars to help them survive. So there is no work on that little patio. I think, Steve, you asked that question. It's kind of a unique little patio out there, but they're not planning to do anything with that right now. So it's just strictly restoring the previous limit of work, revegetating that, and removing some of the invasive and doing some invasive management in that area.
Are we gonna put, is there something we're gonna do about delineating the limited work so that
Yes, we
they
can do
don't creep back in there with their mowers?
Yeah, a post, like a single rail, because those are very low. They
Yeah.
can just kind of blend right in with this, with the right color,
Good point.
like those little composite single rail fences.
Right.
Good point. Anything else? Okay, I'll entertain a
But
motion.
the ownership is changing, so
It is,
you have to be, yeah.
yep.
So we
And
don't-
Teresa
we
did
don't need a
testify
9-foot
that the
high
current
fence with
owners are well
concertina
aware
wire on the top.
of what needs to
Electrified.
happen, and they're on board with that.
Cameras.
She did make that statement in the hearing that the new property owners are on board with this.
Sirens.
Come up with something
Great.
that
And she doesn't want to think
that
about
line, and you get near with
beach
the lawnmower.
access and the other issues. Just
Not at this point, that's what she testified, there is no beach access at this point. They have a beach access at the end of Jetty Road. I'm sure when they come in for that patio,
Yeah.
they will try to,
Put a
or
little trail.
propose some sort of like sand trail
Well,
through the
there's
dune.
there's paths on both sides. of
Yeah,
the
on both
property.
sides.
Move to accept as discussed.
Second?
Okay, a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote to accept as discussed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 56 East Harbor Drive, East Harbor.
That was
Realty
BSS
Trust.
Designs dock that they had permitted years ago, but the former property owner never acted on the permit, so he's just permitting the dock again. It meets all the performance standards. It's a floating structure, so it has that 3-foot separation under the lowest portion of the flow to the bottom. Same one the board saw
Right.
5-6 years ago.
Shellfish?
Yeah, it was done, a new one was done, it was fun.
Okay. Let's move to accept as discussed.
Second.
Okay, motion to move, accept, and discussed. Any other comments, questions?
No?
Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, unanimous, so moved. 213 and 223 Meadow Neck Road, Johnson.
Meadow Neck was the big restoration project by Wilkinson. Again, Wilkinson will be the sole entity to do that work. The only concern the staff had was those 3 trees by that brick patio all the way to the south of the property where they wanted to take down those 3 oaks. They looked like, when I was out there, they are regenerating. I say give them a chance to survive. They are doing a lot of pruning to establish that vista corridor from the house through there, and I'll have them double check on those 2 trees down the path on the northern side of the restoration project on I can't remember which one it is.
Did we,
So, because I think they had some trees tagged in the field that weren't on the plan, so I want to make sure that, are they taking that pine down, are they not? There were a couple in there that had an orange and a white tag that weren't depicted on the plan to do anything with. But my concern was the 3 oaks in that patio area, because once they pull all the invasives out, they should have a beautiful view from that
So
patio.
they
I
should leave
don't,
them.
No,
They should leave them.
yeah.
and I think they agreed to that.
I
didn't they,
think he
Jen?
did. I
Yeah,
think he
really.
agreed
I
to
think
leave and
fundamentally
monitor
they-
them.
They didn't have a
Didn't
problem
we-
with
Did
it.
Yeah,
we,
and they're
um,
gonna
did-
monitor them.
did we
Right.
ask them to consult with an arborist about the gall wasps and all that stuff?
Seth routinely works with an arborist,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's not like they'll have to put another arborist on. That's
Yeah.
not someone I would say you have to go out and hire an outside arborist. I believe he has an arborist on site or routinely works with one. But we'll have them leave the oaks and monitor them, and, we'll put in that, we want a report every year from an arborist on the health of the trees, and then if they have to come down, they have to come down.
So they could do that administratively,
Yeah,
Jen?
that's fine. We
Okay.
can write that in.
So if
Yeah.
they come back and say they gotta come down, then you.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can
they're gonna have a
handle it.
monitoring component with the restoration part of it anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Again, there's the for sale sign on this property. And I don't know whether they intend to divide it or whether one property is for sale. I didn't,
Isn't the house, isn't it a guest?
I could live in the guest house.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying it doesn't, I don't know, I have no
With a
idea, Steve.
pool.
That's a really good point, but I don't know.
I don't care. I mean, I don't care other than the enforcement.
But
I mean,
the-
it's
the
going
whole-
on both properties, it's gonna be recorded on both properties, so.
And
The
so
majority of the work is on one.
the issue is that,
Mm-hmm.
what is your concern, Steve, is that because it's for sale, this order would go over to the new owner if it wasn't completed, correct?
Correct. The orders of conditions don't go with an applicant, they go with a property.
Property.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
That's all enforcement. That's my
That's-
concern.
Right.
yeah, no, orders of conditions are registered on the deed, so
Right.
they transfer with a property.
So it's a really, I mean, the new owner coming in, buyer beware, in other words, you know. really
And
make
honestly,
sure
this
everything's
is,
taken
they're
care of.
proposing to do this, so if the new owner comes in and they don't want to do this, they don't have to record the order. I mean, this isn't an enforcement issue, they're asking you to do something, they're not, if the new owner comes in and says, you know what, I want to wait a little while, I want to live on the property and see if, you know, if I want to do things a little differently, that's well within their right to do.
The other piece is a lot of,
But
you know,
once the
prospective
orders-
buyers will put in there, you know, a contingent will buy it if we get the
Yeah,
approval for
yeah,
X.
yeah.
But once the order's issued and recorded, there's no going back.
There's no going back, but they can also request a certificate of compliance that said the work was never done. Unless there's an enforcement issue, Courtney, you can't force somebody to do, you can't force
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
to
okay.
put a pool in.
Yeah, no,
You
no.
know?
If they don't
That's-
touch
There
it, they don't
is,
touch it.
there is a way out on a certificate of compliance. They could record the order and the new owner could come in a month from now and say, you know what? I really don't want this hanging over my head. Or, you know, if it was a cash sale, or the bank could come in and say, you know what? You can't transfer the property with an open order, and they can come in and close this order right out and say the work was never completed, it's done. It's a done deal. They
right, right.
can't move forward with the work after
Okay.
that.
A move to accept is discussed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions?
There was butters that came, and I didn't understand their concern, that they thought the bank was gonna erode away or something, but I really didn't.
I understood their concern.
Oh, you
I can
did?
talk to you about that.
And I
He's,
think
he's across the street?
Yes.
Yeah.
he wants to do something too, isn't it? And
That's-
that's what he was looking
Yeah.
for. Or he was asking in particulars about it.
Yep.
That's what that was all
Yeah.
about.
Okay. But
He's been before the board multiple times. He owns two properties side by side directly. I don't know if it's directly across the street, but it's a little bit.
fine, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, kind of diagonally, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. In there. Okay, any other comments, questions?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions unanimous, so moved. 19 and 21 Nashon Way.
That is that unique little property out on North Shore.
Little property.
Yeah, I know. The only, the only thing staff has, you do need to repair the revetment and the jetties. I mean, they are
Uh-huh.
crumbling.
Right.
The only concern or comment the staff has was we have absolutely no idea why they're rebuilding that boat ramp.
Ramp to nowhere.
Yeah,
It's a ramp, it's your ramp you can't get to, that's the issue, is it's a
Right.
boat ramp, but the only way to access it is from the other property, given the way that revetment is built. You
Is the
have to
other-
access it on another person's property, and it's through a dune, and it has like a little dune trail through it, so I get the whole preserving their right to have it, but
That, and maybe they're gonna buy the other piece of property.
Right.
I mean, what you
Possibly,
don't
who
know
knows?
is what,
Already
are
I mean,
they,
it's just odd to me.
are they in negotiation with the next door property where the access is, and that hasn't come to fruition, but they want to do the work just in case?
And that's fine, it
I
just,
think A
yeah,
large part of it is what you said, is preserving the rights.
I think it's
Yeah,
just a
I don't have a problem with
preservation
that.
of right.
They just want to
I
clean it
wouldn't
up.
want more concrete in my backyard, but
Yeah.
that's, you know.
Well,
Anyway,
Each his own.
other than that, I honestly didn't have any issues. I think they do need to get a more stable access down that little path that Steve went
Or
down.
abandon it.
Yeah, abandon it, and repair what's out there, because it's in rough shape.
Yeah.
Did you just say there's a coastal dune separating the two properties? Did I hear that
So,
right?
yeah, so the way the property is, and I can show you, it's easier to show you on the plan. And I need you guys to sign
I can
all
open
of
this
these.
up. Oh, yeah, good.
Oh, yeah. That was the amended, we issued that yesterday, but we have to redo the form because Courtney filled out the wrong form. So here's your property line. So basically, they're not doing any work on this property. They testified to that they weren't doing any work on this property.
Right.
So they're only repairing the boat ramp from here to here. And two, this is a separate property. The little
Right.
dune path comes like this.
Well, my question is, let's say they bought this property or came to some
Yeah.
form of agreement.
Yeah.
And this person now wanted to restore this, could they?
Yes, because that is not in the dune. The dunes
Okay,
are
all
up
right.
here.
Well, that was my question, right?
But the
Okay.
problem is, if they ever said, we want to use that as a boat ramp, you got a whole coastal dune system right here, and staff would have kind
only
of
three
a
of them.
problem with widening the little happy dune path through there
With
and
the
making a
wire.
boat ramp, so.
Apparently, the property used to include the other, the parcel used to include the other property.
That whole
Yeah.
thing was owned by one person at one time,
Signatures,
that
please,
whole
only three
stretch.
of
I
them.
can show you like the
Must have been
subdivision,
really
yeah. Yeah.
And one of those houses existed.
What is this? Oh, this is Little Neck Bars.
We got,
So I
Here,
make a
sign
motion
this
to
one,
accept.
too.
we got, all right, so that gives us 4, but we are approving 5.
That's what I just said, Courtney, we issued John Parker Road the other day, that was the amended for the restoration order of conditions, but she filled out the normal order of conditions
Rusty
form,
missed one.
so we're just issuing a new form, but Jim McLaughlin picked it up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We just have to switch out the forms.
We have a motion by Steve to accept as discussed. Do I have a second?
Second.
Just one other thing.
Any
and
other
it's
comments, questions? Jen?
It's
No.
real quick. I'm working with the health department right now, and I've been trying to get this, the health department is working on an initiative for, tick prevention. I mean, it's really bad right now, and I'm working to schedule a joint meeting with the Board of Health and the Concom, probably for the end of June, and they want to bring in what is his name, Larry, and I can't think of his last name. He's the guy from the county that does all the tick prevention and everything, and he gave a presentation here a couple of weeks ago. It's pretty bad out there, so the Board of Health wants to start a initiative of, one, trying to widen some of the heavily used trails out on BB Woods, Peterson Farm, and also try to get a basically permethrin spraying program together where they're spraying permethrin along the trails. I did have some concerns with that regarding, what that would do to, let's say, a pollinator situation or a wetland. The county did put some of my, did kind of calm some of the concerns that I had down, and I think it's important for the board to hear the presentation. I'll be working with Mary to kind of schedule that, but right now, we want to take on a little pilot program to widen some trails. So we're going to work with AmeriCorps, and we'll probably choose a couple of trails in like Peterson Farm,
So how wide are they talking about, Jen?
8 feet.
8 feet? Really?
Yeah.
It's
No longer
8
a
feet
trail.
Really? Yeah, I mean, that's a roadway as far as I'm concerned.
I know, and that's why, and we want to start small, and we want to start with a pilot project. Widening those trails in BB Woods is going to
If
be.
8 foot is small, I got a problem with that. Big
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
I understand.
And we can, we can sit down and talk to Mallory, she's who I'm talking with, and have a
very good.
conversation with the Board of Health. But it's something that, if you start widening BB Woods that wide, we're gonna get some pushback.
Of course.
So,
You've got two, this is a practical issue though here, and I understand why they want to go to 8 feet. And that is, if you, let's say you want to keep it at 4 or 5 feet, that's fine and allows people to walk through, but, the stuff grows back in so quick.
it does.
So, the
Thank you, Kim.
alternative is they gotta be out there every 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks.
and that's why
cutting
we
it back.
we want to start small with a pilot program, and they do want to spray the trail edges with permethrin. That would have to be done with a licensed herbicide applicator.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
How
big.
far would this spray penetrate the sides?
That is something we're going to have to discuss with them. I don't know, and that's why the board really does need to meet with the guy from the county. He knows more about these types
Yeah.
of things than
My
we
understanding
do.
is this stuff forms like a barrier, so it's not deep penetrating. I
Is
know
it
a guy
a-
that
it-
does
it-
the
it's
Tilden
not a-
nuclear plant.
It's not an
John Borowski, you know?
insecticide, it's a
Yeah.
repellent.
He does
Yes.
the
Yeah.
nuclear plant, and they have paths.
Well, it
No,
also,
it
it
is
kills the
bad.
ticks.
It
kills-
is bad. Last
He
night,
goes, I don't know how
Two
frequently, I think it's once a month. and
nymph
sprays.
deer ticks off of one of my cat's nose.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually a
They're that far
fascinating
apart.
chemical, it does all kinds of things,
What, permethrin?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a big write-up the other day in, I forget what publication, but they were saying the one thing that, you know, ticks are just, I don't know the word I want, so intense this year, and different, there's a couple different breeds, and that's what Mallory was talking about. And this publication was saying the only thing they found so far that takes care of all of it is permethrin.
I mean, Dave, the
If you
health.
spray it on your clothes, and it's diluted, if you spray it on your clothes, it'll last through 6 washings.
Yeah,
What does that tell you?
Dave,
Oh,
Dave is taking some of his clothing and sending it out. You can send it out to, I think it's a website, or I don't know if it's a company called Insect Shield. And I'm sure there are other companies out there that they will treat your clothing for you, and it lasts up to 70 washings. But no, we have a case of it down in the office, and we treat all
I
our
was
field
gonna say, you
clothes
guys should
with
use it.
Yeah, we do. All of our field clothes, every time we go out in the field, we're treating our clothes with this stuff. So anyway, I'll set up a thing with the Board of Health, but that's just kind of the pilot thing that they're talking about, is widening some of these heavily used trails. And in some cases, my concern, one, was using the spray treatment near pollinator gardens, using it near wetlands, but also just widening these trails, we're gonna get some pushback.
I know.
So I'm just putting that out there to warn you guys.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
So I
done.
need to go, I need a vote on this 19 and 21. We have a second? We have a motion and a second. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions unanimous, so moved.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, guys. Sorry I was late. I tried.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Abstentions unanimous, so moved.
You report- you
So-
didn't sign